व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। सुखाय दुःखमोक्षाय संकल्प इह कर्मिणः सदाप्नोति हया दुःखं हनिहायः सुखावृतः. A very profound declaration in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukhaya dukkhamokshaya sankalpa iha karminaha sadapnoti haya dukkham hanihayaha sukhavritaha. Each one of us engage in actions in order to fulfill our desires. Desires can be divided into two categories. One set of desires are all about sukha prapti, and the other set are all about dukkha nivritti. So everyone operates in this world either for the sake of sukha prapti or dukkha nivritti. Sukhaya dukkha mokshaya sankalpa iha karminaha. Every action in this material world is carried out in order to fulfill desires to obtain happiness and to avoid all kinds of distress. Sadapnoti haya dukkham anihaya sukhavritaha. But the reality is, one experiences happiness only as long as one does not chase happiness. The moment one starts to chase happiness, one starts to experience conditions of distress. A very profound declaration in Srimad Bhagavatam. It seems there was a cat which was very unhappy. And then it was one of those days when it had an epiphany, a moment of revelation, where it found out that all its happiness lies in its tail. And thereafter, this cat went about chasing its tail, going round and round and round, chasing its tail. And as it went about chasing its tail, it spent all the time in frustration, not able to reach out to its own tail. After many days of futile attempts, the cat then approached the seer and poured its heart out. And then the seer agreed with the cat that its revelation is right, that its happiness in fact lies in its very tail. But the seer also said, as long as it takes ages for one to realize that by chasing this tail which is not reachable, one ends up only in a state of frustration and distress all the time. And therefore, only when one starts to go about doing one's business, then the tail of happiness shall automatically follow. Therefore, instead of chasing happiness, our Shastras say that one must go about doing the right things, and the experience of happiness shall follow. And what are those right things that one must engage in doing How do we operate in this life by doing the right things? Vidura gives us the answer. We continue with Vidura's exposition to Dhritarashtra. Vidura, using the wizardry of numbers, continues to give quintessential wisdom. Now he moves on to the topic of happiness. Arogyam anrunyam avipravasaha sadbhir manushyaih saha samprayogaha swapratyaya vrittibhir abhitavasaha shadjivalokasya sukhani rajan. Vidura now talks about 6 things that need to be addressed, 6 situations in which one can experience happiness, 6 areas which are of one's utmost concern that need to be addressed in order to experience happiness. Arogyam, anrunyam, avipravasaha, sadbihi manushyaih saha samprayogaha, swapratyaya vrittihi abhitavasaha. These are the 6 things that Vidura talks about. Arogyam, pretty clear. It is very important to be free from all kinds of sickness to be happy. All kinds of sickness, physical, mental, and emotional. While we are all aware of this, this is one area which is most often compromised, most often taken for granted. When we talk of physical health, the body needs to be fed with the right kind of diet, a healthy physical diet. A healthy physical diet is constituted by 2 B's: balance, benefit. The diet needs to be balanced, and the diet needs to be beneficial to the body. It needs to nourish the body. Similarly, when we talk of mental health, which is far more important, the mental diet is constituted by 2 C's: content and compass. Content and compass. The mind needs to be fed with the right kind of content. It is very important for mental health that we keep feeding the mind with the right content. That is why Swadhyaya, Satsanga becomes very important. Taking refuge of the Shastras to keep constantly feeding the mind with the right kind of content. That is an important ingredient of the mental diet. And at the same time, the feeding the content from the Shastras also helps in another way as well. It also helps us to erase the unwanted content in the mind, which is also important. The second C is the compass. The desires, aspirations, visions in the mind needs to be properly directed with the right compass. The compass in the mind needs to be set in the right direction towards Krishna. Only then one can be mentally happy. So therefore, the first of the 6 key factors that Vidura talks about, when asked the question of how happiness can be assured, Vidura starts with a 6a. And the first of the 6 factors is arogya, physical and mental. The second, Vidura says, is anrunyam, runa, debt. Agnisesham, rinasesham, satrushesham, tathaivacha, punah punah pravardheta, tasmat sesham na karo, tasame kare karoti yat. It is said that when the fire is not put out completely, when the debt is not settled completely, When an enemy, after engaging in a battle, is not conquered, then all these repeatedly keep growing in size and keep troubling us. Therefore, freedom from debt is a very important ingredient for happiness. Avipravasaha, not living away from one's home. Compulsion, commercial compulsions, economical compulsions, to miss family for the sake of livelihood. Also, avipravasaha also means missing home, living in a house. Now, there is a difference between a home and a house, and the difference is the factor of love. Sadbihi manushaihi saha samprayogaha. Happiness also depends on the nature of one's company. Sadbihi manushaihi saha samprayogaha. In Uddhava Gita, Krishna declares, Satsanga labdhaya bhaktya mayimamsa upasita savai me darshitam sadbihi anjasa vindate padam. Firstly, he recommends Uddhava that he needs to engage in devotional service, in performing bhakti. And then he gives the means to practice, cultivate bhakti. He says, Satsanga labdhaya bhaktya mahimam sa upasita. How do I cultivate bhakti? By engaging in satsanga, in the company of noble people. Only through the company of noble people, only through the company of Bhagavatas, Krishna says, one can obtain, one can cultivate bhakti and start practicing upasana of Bhagavan. Savai me darshitam sabdihi anjasa vindate padam. And by practicing Bhagavad upasana, one reaches me, and even my abode is only revealed through satsanga, he says. Savai me darshitam sadbihi. Even the revelation of what is my destination is also possible only through sadbihi, through satsanga. Anjasa vindate padam. One eventually reaches my very abode. So therefore, Vidura also echoes here the same message. For true happiness, a satsanga becomes fundamental, prerequisite. Only through the company of noble people, one can know the right goal, the ultimate goal, and the right means to that ultimate goal. Swapratyaya vrittihi, living on one's own earnings, another important ingredient for happiness. Abhitavasaha, leading a fearless life. If fear has to become less and less, Krishna has to become more and more in our lives. When there is more and more of Krishna, there is less and less of fear. So therefore, 6 factors which are necessary for happiness, 6 ingredients: Arogya, Anrunyam, Avipravasaha, Sadbhir Manushyahi, Saha Samprayogaha, Swapraptya Vrittihi, Abhitavasaha. In the Uddhava Gita, talking about happiness, the Avanti Brahmana makes a very profound declaration. Nayam jano me sukadukka hetoho nav devatatma graha karma kalaha manaha param karanam amananti samsara chakram parivartayedyat. The Avanti Brahmana says, all these people around are not the cause for my happiness or for my distress. Neither are the devatas. My body, I have realized, is not the cause of my happiness or my distress. The grahas are not the cause of my happiness or my distress. My work or kala are not the causes for my happiness or distress. Then what is the cause of all my happiness and all my distress? Manaha param karanam amanamti samsara chakram parivartayet yat. It is just the mind. It is my mind alone that is the sole cause of all my happiness, the sole cause of all my distress, and the reason for the Atman to be perpetuated in this rotation of samsara. And therefore, this mind is the cause for both happiness and success. And Vidura, after having talked about the ingredients of happiness, now talks about the ingredients for unhappiness caused by the impurities of one's mind. Irshagrini na santushtaha krodhano nitya shankitaha parabhagyopajivi cha shadete nitya dukkhitaha. He gives 6 reasons, 6 kinds of impurities of the mind, which are causes for unhappiness, for distress. Irsha, grini, na santushtaha, krodhana, nitya shankitaha, parabhagyopajivi. These are the 6. Irsha, jealousy, envy. People who are jealous are those who have got their counting wrong. People who are jealous are those who got their counting wrong. They keep counting the blessings of others instead of counting their own blessings. They keep counting the blessings. They try to take account of the blessings of others. And in the process, they forget to count their own blessings. And that is why those who are jealous are in a state of unhappiness all the time. Irsha, grini, the hateful. When the mind is full of hate, life is full of sorrow. Therefore, grini, those who are hateful, can never be happy. Na santushtaha, the discontented. Discontentment is a result of wrong content in the mind. When the mind is filled with wrong content, one is discontented. The wrong content is everything to do with this material world, where one is trying to fulfill desires through possessions, and this is a never-ending process. And therefore, nasantushtaha, one who is not content will always remain unhappy. Krodhana, hot-tempered, angry. One who has anger has his dhana is krodhana. And when one has anger as his dhana, if one's treasure, anger becomes one's treasure, there is no way that one can get the real treasure. Therefore, happiness cannot be experienced by the one who is krodhana. Nitya shankitaha, the ever suspicious. Vidura says, one who is ever suspicious can never be happy. Now, unfortunately, people are either suspicious or superstitious. This is the problem. No, people are on either sides of the spectrum. Either one is always suspicious or one is always superstitious. Suspicious, when one is suspicious, one is hyper intelligent. When is superstitious, one is anti-intelligent. So therefore, these are 2 sides of the spectrum. Anti-intelligence, when one does not use one's intellect completely, one is in a state of superstition. When one uses intelligence more than what one should use, thinks that everything can be solved with one's intellect, one is always remains suspicious. So therefore, it is very important to have a balance. The intellect should be in the right place. Neither it should be locked up and completely forgotten, nor it should go on an overdrive. So therefore, Nitya Shankitaha, one who is ever suspicious. Why? When one thinks one can use one's intellect and solve every problem, everything can be solved, then one will always remain suspicious. Parabhagyopajivi, those who are depending upon the fortunes of others. When one is only looking at others' fortune, one fails to recognize how fortunate one is. Because this very human life is a gift, and one needs to always feel that one is fortunate to have acquired a human birth. So therefore, Parabhagyopajivi, one who is always depending, looking at others' fortune, will never experience happiness. Irshagrini asantushtaha krodhana nityashankitaha parabhagyopajivi cha shadete nitya dukkitaha. Nitya dukkita, always will experience unhappiness all the time. Now Vidura, after having talked about happiness for the individuals, now he talks about for happiness to prevail in society, societal happiness. Ashtau purva nimittani narasya vinishishyataha brahmanan prathamam dveshi brahmanaischa viruddhyate brahmanaswani chadate brahmanascha jighamsati ramate nindaya chaisham prashamsa abhinandati naitag smarati krityeshu yachitaschabhyasuyati etan doshan nara prajño buddhya buddva vivajjayet. He talks about 8 things that one should not engage in. 8 things that need to be avoided. 8 transgressions he talks about. Hating the Brahmanas, envying the Brahmanas, disputing the Brahmanas, appropriation of a Brahmana's possessions, taking the life, killing a Brahmana, taking pleasure in insulting, abusing Brahmanas, grieving to hear the praises of Brahmanas, forgetting the Brahmanas on ceremonious occasions, finding faults when the Brahmanas approach asking for charity. All these are transgressions that must be avoided for societal happiness. We all keep praying, Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Madhyena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. For happiness to prevail in the society, for peace and harmony, the ruler Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha. The ruler has to govern based on principles taught by the Shastras, must walk on the path of Dharma. And who will show him the path of Dharma? The Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the men of wisdom, those who have realized the Brahman. And therefore, go the cows which embody abundance in society, and Brahmanas who embody wisdom in society have to be necessarily protected for the protection of the society, for peace and harmony to prevail in society. That's exactly what Vidura here is instructing to Dhritarashtra. And Vidura now talks about when is happiness possible. He says, Navadvaramidam vesham tristunam panchasakshikam kshetrajna adishtitam vidvanyo vedasa parakavihi. Here Vidura borrows the word kshetrajna. The one, the knower of kshetras, kshetrajna. Kshetrajna adishtitam. Where is the kshetrajna housed? The kshetrajna's house, Vidura says, Navadvaramidam vesham tristunam panchasakshikam kshetrajnam adishtitam vidvanyo vedasa parakavihi. The wise man knows, the one who experiences happiness knows that the Atman, the kshetrajna, is distinct and different from the kshetra, my embodiment. And this embodiment is made up, is basically, I am housed in a body of 9 gates. Navadvara midam. Navadvara, 9 doors. Navadvara midam vesham. Tristunam, 3 pillars. Panchasakshikam, 5 witnesses. So basically, it's like a riddle. He says, the one who knows that he resides in a house which has 9 gates, Tristunam, 3 pillars, and 5 witnesses, can experience happiness all the time. Now, this is what Krishna in the Gita also explains. Sarvakarmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vashi navadvara pure dehi naiva kurvan karayan. Navadvara pure dehi. The deha, this body, is made up of, has 9 gates, 9 doorways. The 2 eyes, the 2 nostrils, the 2 ears, the 1 mouth, the 2 excretory organs, all put together, the 9 gates, 9 doorways. The body has 9 gates, Navadvara. Now, when the Dehi, the Kshetrajna, knows that he is not the body and stays detached from the body, overcomes the misidentification that I am the body. When he overcomes this and he stays rooted in that knowledge that I am the Atman, I am the Kshetrajna and not the Kshetra. I am the Atman, I am the indweller, and and the body belongs to me, which is my instrument. When he is rooted in this knowledge and operates in his life through this knowledge, then he can continue to remain in a state of happiness all the time. In Shvetashvara Upanishad, it is also declared, Navadvare pure dehi hanso lelayate bahihi vashi sarvasya lokasya sthavarasya charasya cha. The Upanishad goes one step further and says, when can one start experiencing happiness? Not only knowing that I am the Atman, I am not the body, but also knowing that along with me, the Paramatma is also residing in the same body with me as my companion. And when this Atman connects with this Paramatman, recognizes the presence of the Paramatma in the body, it also starts to experience the same bliss of the Paramatma. So therefore, here Vidura echoes a similar message. He says, Navadvara midam vesham tristunam panchasakshikam. Recognizing that one is an indweller in this body, which has Navadvara, the 9 gates. Tristunam, 3 pillars. What are the 3 pillars? This body is governed by the 3 governing principles of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. These are the 3 principles. Tristunam. Pancha Sakshikam. Sakshi is witness. The Pancha Sakshika, 5 witnesses. What are the 5 witnesses? These are the sense objects. Shabda, Sparisha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Shabda, sense, sound objects. Shabda, Sparisha, objects of touch. Rupa, objects that have form and color and shape. Rasa, objects that have taste. Gandha, objects that have smell. These are all the sense objects. Now, the sense organs, whether we like it or not, are constantly engaging with the sense objects. This is unavoidable. The sense objects are there. The world around us is there all the time. Whether we like it or not, the world around us is there. Even if we close our eyes, the world is still there and keeps operating. Therefore, we cannot wish away the sense objects. So the sense organs are always presented with sense objects. The key here is a man who is wise, in order to experience happiness, should ensure that these objects of senses should not end up becoming the sole objectives of his senses. The sense objects should not become the objectives of his senses, and more importantly, also not become the obsessions of his senses. As long as one can prevent that, one can continue to operate in life in a state of happiness. Therefore, Vidura says, Navadvaramidam vesham tristunam panchasakshikam. Kshetrajna adishtitam vidvanyo vedasa parakavihi. And then Vidura goes on to say, Dhritarashtra, one must avoid 10, there are people who need to be avoided. In order to stay happy, it's also important not only one must practice certain values, one must lead a certain way of life, but also avoid certain kinds of people, Vidura says. And he gives those 10 types of people who have to be avoided. Dashadharmam na jananti Dhritarashtra nibodatan matta pramatta unmatta shranta kruddo vibhukshitaha paramanascha bhirushcha lubda kamicha te dasha tasmadeteshu bhaveshu na prasajjeta panditaha. Matta pramatta unmatta shranta kruddo vibhukshitaha paramanascha bhirushcha lubda kamicha te dasha. 10 types of people who do not know what is dharma, who need to be avoided. He uses very profound words, constructing a series of characteristics that need to be avoided. The moment we recognize these people, Vidura says they need to be avoided. Mattaha, people who are intoxicated. It is very toxic to be in the company of intoxicated. Better to avoid them to stay happy. Pramattaha, those who are negligent, those who are careless all the time. Pramatta also means one who is drunk, but he's already used mattaha for those who are drunk. So pramattaha here is carelessness, negligent. One who is careless can no more achieve anything. So therefore, careless people need to be avoided if one needs to stay happy. Unmattaha, people who are insane, wild. It is very important to recognize that a wild mind bewilders another mind. Therefore, avoid those. The unmatthas need to be avoided. Shrantaha, those who are fatigued. How can one take a refuge of a sinking boat? How can one get onto a boat which is riddled with holes? Similarly, if we need to be happy, how can we go to someone who is fatigued, which means mentally, physically fatigued, therefore they are unhappy, and better to avoid. Shrantaha, kruddaha, the angry. An angry man is like a poison, better to avoid. Bubhukshitaha, bubhukshus. Vidura says avoid bubhukshus. Bubhukshu means one who is hungry. Bubhukshu also means one who is desirous of worldly enjoyments, as opposed to mumukshus. So if one needs to stay happy, one needs to be in the company of mumukshus and not in the company of bubhukshus. Tvaramana. Tvaramana, man in a state of hurry, always hasty. Haste always results in enormous waste. Therefore, it is very important to avoid those who are always in a state of haste, always hurrying. Bhiru, one who is greedy. Greed is the root cause of all the ills. So in order to stay happy, one must avoid the greedy. Lubdaha, frightful, fearful. Fear is also contagious, more contagious than any contagious disease that we know of. So therefore, better to avoid the company of those who are fearful. Kami, the lustful. To be a human, we must avoid the animal. Therefore, there are 10 characteristics that Vidura talks about. Mattaha, pramattaha, unmattaha, shrantaha, kriddaha, bubhukshitaha, tvaramanaha, bhiruhu, lubdaha, kami. In order to stay happy, hey Dhritarashtra, one needs to avoid these 10 kinds of people. Having talked about happiness, Vidura then moves on to talk about prosperity for the kingdom. And he says, prosperity for a king and the kingdom is a consequence of a capability of the king in dispensing justice, he says. And then he looks at Dhritarashtra and says, Janati Vishwasayitum Manushyan Vijnata Dosheshu Udhadi Danditam Janati Matram Cha Tatakshamam Cha Tattadrisham Trijute Samagraha. Great prosperity attends upon that king who knows how to inspire confidence in others. The king needs to inspire confidence. And he is the one who should inflict punishment on those whose guilt is proven. But at the same time, he must also know the right kind of punishment to be meted out. And he must be the king who should also show mercy when called for. And therefore, Dhritarashtra, a prosperity of the kingdom lies in the capability of the king's ability to dispense justice, he says. Then he looks at Dhritarashtra. He knows Dhritarashtra is shaken, and therefore he then now defines who is a dhira, who is truly courageous. Sudurbalam navajanati kamchidukto ripum sevate buddhirpurvam na vigraham rochayate balastaihi kalechayo vikramate sadhiraha. Sudurbalam navajanati kachid, who does not even insult his enemy. Who is a dhira? Who is truly courageous? Sudurbalam navajanati kachid. He is a dhira who does not insult even his enemy. Yuktoripum sevate buddhipurvam, who treats even an enemy very carefully and intelligently, watching for an opportunity all the time. He does not take anything for granted. He is a dhira, he says. Na vigraham rochayate balastaihi, who avoids conflicts with the powerful. A dhira, courage does not mean foolishness. Once one recognizes that the other person is more powerful, one avoids conflicts. Na vigraham rochayate balastaihi kalechayo vikramate. Kalechayo vikrama, who displays his prowess, displays his capabilities when the occasion arises. He rises to the occasion. He is a dhira, he Dhritarashtra, Vidura says. Now, Vidura gives some direct messages to Dhritarashtra, because Dhritarashtra is craving for praises. He is craving for recognition. Vidura knows that. So Vidura is now talks about what kind of a king will be praised. Dhritarashtra must know this. If you think you know that nobody praises you, therefore you should know the reasons. Nayo abhyasuyat ya anukampate cha na durbalam pratibhavyam karoti natyaha kinchit chamate vivadam sarvatra tadrigbalate prashamsam. Nayo abhyasuyat anukampate cha, who does not have malice, ill intention towards any, and is kind to all. Who, being weak, does not get into a dispute with others. This is a direct message to Dhritarashtra. Hey Dhritarashtra, you always have an ill feeling towards Pandavas. Therefore, how can you expect to receive any kind of praise from anyone? Nayo abhyasuyatya anukampatecha. You have never been kind to them. You, being weak, have always got into a dispute with them. And then, who speaks not arrogantly and forgets a quarrel? Only he is praised here, Dhritarashtra. So therefore, you have the answer. If you keep asking as to why you do not get recognized, the answer is straight away there. So he, in the process of describing how a king becomes worthy of a praise, Vidura is giving direct messages to Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra, do you want people to hold you in high esteem? Let me tell you how you can achieve that. He says, Nasve sukhe vai kurute praharsham nanyasya dukke bhavati pratitaha tattvana paschat kurute nutapam nakatyate satpurusharya shilaha. The one who does not go overboard celebrating his own good fortune. Dhritarashtra, don't celebrate soon. Pandavas have finished Ajnatavasa. So don't celebrate too early. So don't go overboard celebrating. The one who goes overboard celebrating is good fortune. Who does not rejoice over others' misfortune. That's exactly what you're doing, Dhritarashtra. The one who feels sorry over what he has given away in charity, only he is considered superior. Therefore, Dhritarashtra, if you want people to hold you in high esteem, it is still not late for you to reverse your decisions that you have taken. And then some very strong messages, advice to Dhritarashtra. Vidura gives. Dhambam, moham, matsaram, prapakrityam, rajadvishtam, paishunam, bhogavairam, mattonmattair dujjanaischapi vakyam cha prajnavan varjayetsa pradhanaha. Dhambam, arrogance, moham, delusion due to attachment, matsaram, envy, prapakrityam, evil deeds, rajadvishtam, treachery, paishunyam, backbiting, bhogavairam, enmity with many. Of course, Dhritarashtra knows that this is what he has been doing all the time. Therefore, one must relinquish all of this, Dhritarashtra. He's not directly saying you should do this, but he's saying, Dhritarashtra, if you have to be held in high esteem, if a king has to be held in high esteem, this is exactly what the king must do. And then, towards the end of the chapter, the 33rd chapter of the Uparva, the first chapter of the Viduraniti, Vidura gives a very profound message in the form of giving an answer to who should be really considered superior. Who is that person who must be recognized as the superior person in society? Vidura says, Ya atmana patrapathe prasham naraha sa sarvalokasya gurur bhavatsya ananta tejas sumana samahitaha swatejasa surya ivava bhasate. Swatejasa surya ivava bhasate. The one who radiates effulgence because of his limitless brilliance, because of the purity of his heart and a composed mind. But who is that one? Apatrapate, the word that Vidura uses. Ya atmana apatrapate brisham naraha sa sarvalokasya gurur bhavatyutha. Very important here to understand this profound message that Vidura is giving. Apatrapate, one who is modest, one who is humility personified. It is very important to recognize the fact that even when one engages in performing bhakti, the ego can play havoc. Even when one practices constantly the dasya bhava, the ego can play an havoc. The ego can steal everything, including one's humility. It is like one prostrates and then expects something in return for one's prostration. When one says, one feels proud about one's dasyatva. This happens because an ego can steal one's humility. So even when one is on bhakti marga, the ego can always play havoc. What happens over a period of time is, even when one constantly keeps saying, I am a dasa, I am a dasa, I am a dasa, the focus remains on the dasa and one gets defocused from the Swami. That is the danger. That is the reason why in his magnum opus, Yamunacharya brilliantly declares in the Stotra Ratna, Bhavanta mevanu charan nirantaraha, prashanta nishchesha manorantaraha, kadaham aikantika nitya kinkaraha, praharshayishyami sanata jeevitam. He says, bhavantam evanucharam nirantaraha. Whenever I serve you, He Bhagavan, I overcome all my miseries. Bhavantam, this misery-filled world. Service to you helps me conquer all my miseries. Bhavantam evanucharam nirantaraha. Prashanta nissesha manorathantaraha. Devotional service to you also fills my mind and heart with unlimited peace. Kadaham aikantika nitya kinkaraha. But when do I engage in eternal servitude to you, Hey Bhagavan? Nitya kinkaraha. I know that my original constitution is to serve you. But when do I eternally serve you? Kadaham aikantika nitya kinkaraha. Praharshayishyami sanata jeevitam. And be in a delightful state, in a blissful state of serving this master of this universe. What is important here is, it is not thinking about I am your servant. It is the focus on how wonderful my Lord is. Praharshayishyami sanata jeevitam. The joy that I'm experiencing is not because I am your kinkara. That is not the source of joy. My servitude to you is not the source of joy. The source of joy is your mastership, not my servitude. The fact that the reality is that I am able to serve you, my supreme master, that is the source of my joy. So therefore, the focus here is not on the dasa, is on the Swami. And therefore, it is very important to always keep a watch constantly of, because this ego is not ever completely vanquished. It is always there, always ready to take over when it gets a small window of an opportunity. Therefore, Vidura here, apatrapate, one who, apatrapate, it's not just modest, one who is humble, one who is constantly watching out for this ego that will not suddenly raise and take over. It's not enough to constantly keep meditating on this fact that I am a dasa and he is the Swami, but that constant contemplation is not on my dasyatva, but on his swamitva. That becomes more important. And when that focus is on his swamitva, then the bliss is limitless. And that is the reason why one who is rooted in this knowledge of dasa and Swami, and with a focus on the Swami, one is always radiating bliss, radiating energy, radiating limitless brilliance, because that brilliance belongs to Krishna, which is limitless in nature. And that is the reason why here Vidura talks of who is that really superior? That dasa, who has his focus only on the Swami, he is the superior person. And then finally, Vidura says, Dhritarashtra, it is time for you now. No, you have asked me one question and I've given you so many answers. You've asked me the cause for your sleeplessness. And I've started giving you so many words of wisdom. I hope you're listening, my dear brother. Let me also tell you, it is time for you to take an important decision. Give back the kingdom to the Pandavas, the just share of their kingdom. Thus ends the first chapter of Viduraniti. But unfortunately for Vidura, or fortunately for us, the next chapter begins with Dhritarashtra's question. Once again, Dhritarashtra says, Jagrato dahyamanasya yatkarya manupashyasi tadbruhitvam hinastat dharmarta kushalashuchi. Once again, hey Vidura, tell me what I must do to conquer my sleeplessness. What must I do to address the burning in my heart, all the anxieties? How do I overcome? You alone are capable of teaching me all that. So Vidura should be thinking, what have I been doing so far and what he has been doing so far? I thought he is only blind. Only now I realize he's not only blind, he's also deaf. But it is good that Dhritarashtra was not only blind, but is also deaf. Because why? That gives an opportunity for Vidura to continue. Because as we commonly say, picture abhi kafi baki hai. We only finished one chapter out of the 8 chapters of Vidura Niti. Vidura continues. Vidura uvacha. Shubham va yadivam va papam vesham va yadiva priyam aprushtastasya tadbruyadasya nechet parabhavam. Vidura says, as a matter of principle, hey Dhritarashtra, a well-wisher is one who keeps advising, rooted in honesty, even if unasked for. Even if unasked for, I am your well-wisher. Therefore, even if you wouldn't have asked for Dhritarashtra, I would have spent the night. The night is still young. I would have spent the night because all this is happening during the night. So therefore, I would have spent anyway because Vidura is in a flow. You know, when there is this flow, it's better not to stop. So therefore, Vidura says, Dhritarashtra, as your well-wisher, it is my duty to continue to advise. So therefore, let me keep advising you. And he says, Tasmad vakshyamite rajan bhavamicha kurun prati vacha shreyakaram dharmyam bruvatastan nibhodame. I shall therefore, he Dhritarashtra, keep talking to you about what is Shreyakara for the Kurus. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametaha tau samparitya vivinakti dhiraha Shreyo hi dhiro vipreyaso vrinite preyo mando yogakshemat prinite. Profound declaration of the Kathopanishad where Yamadharmaraja is explaining to the little Nachiketas about Shreyas and Preyas. Vidura here tells Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra, let me tell you what is Shreyakara for you. What is Shreyas? What is ultimate well-being? Shreyas stands for ultimate well-being. What is really truly good? Preyas is what is pleasant. It is only short-term want. Whereas Shreyas stands for long-term gain, the ultimate well-being. And therefore, I shall only tell you what is Shreyakara. Hey Dhritarashtra, those who choose the dear fall short of the real. Very important to recognize this. By choosing what is dear to you, what is dear to you is always dear to your body, dear which are pleasurable. When you choose what is pleasurable, you fall short of the real goal of your life. And therefore, let me share what is Shreyakara for you. What is not only Shreyakara for you, but Shreyakara for the entire Kuru dynasty. And thus, Vidura continues to share words of wisdom with Dhritarashtra. Vyasam vasishtanaptaram shakter pautramakalmasham parasharatmajam mande shukadhatam taponite. Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.